Hello bookworms, bibliophiles, and lovers of all things literature, and welcome to the next chapter of the Braless Book Guild podcast, where we discard our bras and gather the gays to talk about books both published and unpublished. We are your hosts, Jenna. Hi guys. I'm Marissa, and this is Megan.
Hello.
And as a very special treat, we have our friend Haylee on again.
Woo-hoo. Hi, gay.
Welcome back, Haylee.
Thanks. I'm so happy to be back.
We actually have you in the room this time. Last time you were in LA.
Yeah,
and
we
we
were
did
on
a
the
TV recording, and I feel like all of us were yelling just so you could hear us. But the episode turned out fine, so
Yeah.
So if we yell at you, it's because we're used to last year.
yeah.
That's what it is. That's what we need Jenna to do, because
Yes.
we always tell her, project.
Yeah.
They're like,
Can't
Jenna,
hear
eat your
you.
mic.
Were you
That's
not
why
a
I'm
theater
with
kid?
this. Oh, no, I was, but I just have a lot of trauma. So
yeah,
it
okay.
starts out really good and then slowly goes away.
I see.
And
I
then
see,
she
I see.
starts getting comfortable and she relaxes back.
yeah.
Technicalities.
Yeah.
So a lot of you guys, like we said, might know Haylee from last year during our Pride month. She joined us, so we felt it was fitting for you to join us on Pride again.
Well,
Yeah. But before we get into it, as always, we always talk about what we're drinking. So I'm gonna put Haylee on the spot. Do you remember what you're drinking?
I do, actually. I've been thinking about it this entire time. I am drinking a matcha strawberry butterfly pea lemonade.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of words. I don't think that's true.
But every single one of them is delicious, and I love it.
We did our best to layer it and make it look like a rainbow. So we'll post the pictures.
Mhm.
It semi-succeeded.
It looked like colors.
It was colorful.
It was colors, yes.
Yeah.
It was pretty colors. I loved it.
Yeah. Jenna, what are you drinking?
So I did the Victoria's Vice, which I think we've drank on here
Yeah.
before. It's like a black tea with caramel and cocoa nibs and vanilla. And I topped it with a little bit of chocolate milk and some honey. So I did it latte style because Megan brought some chocolate milk and we thought we'd get a little crazy here.
Yeah, I messaged Jenna and I was just like, does chocolate milk work in tea? And she's like, depends on the tea. And I was like, okay, I will scour my tea cabinet and look and see. And so I brought a couple options over.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
don't taste the chocolate milk though as much.
I do.
Oh, okay.
But it might be that I just got like an entire mouthful of foam.
Okay.
And no tea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely taste the chocolate milk. But it's very light. It's
Okay,
not a
yeah.
very thick chocolate milk, I don't think. Because you really only put a splash of milk in tea anyway. So I think anything more would have overpowered the tea and we wouldn't have tasted the tea.
Might as well have just had chocolate milk at that point.
Right.
I really like that this is like your definition of crazy. We're gonna get crazy today with tea by putting chocolate milk in the tea. You guys,
Could we sound like old ladies anymore?
you guys, it's Pride Month and we're celebrating by getting crazy and putting chocolate milk in the tea.
And making a rainbow drink.
Yeah, and making a rainbow drink.
With no alcohol.
Does it
Yes.
normally have alcohol in it?
Just usually, I think that would be people's idea of crazy is, here, let's add some
Oh.
alcohol to my tea or something.
Oh, I bet gin would taste awesome in my lemonade drink.
For sure. That
I
would
don't
plug.
have gin.
I was going to say, Marissa.
I don't drink gin. I drink whiskey and vodka.
Wow.
That probably would, well, vodka might be okay, but
Vodka would
whiskey
be
would
fine.
not be
Yeah,
good.
vodka tastes fine in almost everything, so
Yeah.
it's the catch-all alcohol.
I'd put whiskey in my drink.
Yes. Yeah.
So Megan, are you drinking the same thing?
I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah, okay. Because
Yeah.
I heard you talk about, like, I barely taste the...
Yeah, we're twinsies today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because I actually almost went with what Marissa's drinking, but then decided to go with Megan because I was like, well, I have access to Marissa's tea anytime because I live 5 minutes away. Megan's 30 minutes, so I'll go with hers.
Yeah. And now Haley's 7 minutes away.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah, I'm so close.
Easy.
Everybody's so close. It's almost like we should start hanging out more or
Right.
something like that.
In person.
Yeah,
Now that you're no longer in LA,
Yeah.
we can.
yeah. I miss it though.
Yeah. I miss Korea so much, especially right now.
Yeah.
Well, we decided that this episode was just going to be, like, a free talk. We didn't want to have too much structure in it. But we were also going to interrogate Haylee and ask her for recommendations on books since you read
Okay.
a lot of stuff that we haven't read yet.
I certainly do.
Yeah. And we want to always add to our TBR So we were wondering if you had any recommendations for queer books. Yes.
Before we get started, last episode we made a pact that in the Always Fully Booked planner, which you also have,
Yes, I do.
plug in for Megan and Scott, Little Inklings Design, Always Fully Booked. It has the Around the World challenge, and so Jenna made this awesome idea of reading an LGBT book from around the world. So there's like, I think there's 7 or 8 different prompts. So it's like Russia, which
Good luck.
yeah, Russia, Australia, or I think
Russia
it's
has
like
one. I already saw
Oceania.
one. Oh, good.
Antarctic and Arctic. So
Okay.
yeah, it has all of these. So if you happen to have any recommendations,
I
we
do.
can- oh, wow,
Actually, yeah.
Beautiful.
she came in swinging. All right.
Yeah.
Here, Antarctica. We didn't have anywhere for that.
Yeah. So,
The penguins, you guys.
So,
the gay penguins.
about a year ago, back when I was doing ARCs, I read a book called Cinema Love. I'm going to apologize in advance for pronouncing this name.
welcome to the club.
podcast.
So back when I was doing ARCs last year, I read a book called Cinema Love by Jiaming Tang. And it's kind of a historical literary fiction about gay men in China during, I think, like the 60s and 70s.
Ooh.
And how they would, they would get together in movie theaters, and that was kind of the only private place that they would be able to be together. But also it was about the women that these men married, because there's a lot of pressure for heteronormativity and having children and stuff like that. It was a really, really moving story. But yeah, you could fill that one in for China.
Perfect.
go.
I think it's just Asia in general.
Okay.
But yeah,
There you
Well,
that's a good
it's
word.
the biggest country in Asia. So.
It's true.
It takes up a lot of Asia.
Yeah.
It's funny because you said that, like, movie theaters were where they go. That was even true in America, because in our first episode of this month, I talked about Stonewall and the 50s, 60s, and 70s era. And that's what a lot of people in, like, the first-hand accounts talk about, is going to the movie theaters, because that's where you met up and where
Yeah.
you hooked up, because you
Yep.
couldn't do it anywhere else.
Yeah, it's dark and it's private, and and you're supposed to be paying attention to something else. It makes sense.
Yeah. Distractions.
I've already added it to my Goodreads, so I should actually make a shelf on there for like 2026 reads.
All my son has been doing is wanting to watch Mulan or Lilo and Stitch. And so for some reason, I just keep hearing the Emperor, and for what you have done for China, every time you say China, because that's like living in my head, because I've watched it 10,000 times in the last week. So just want you to know, you are all turning into the Emperor the minute you say China in my head.
Also, I like to consider Mulan one of Disney's only queer movies,
Yeah,
because I know it would make them mad for me to refer to it as that. But Mulan is trans non-binary.
Yes, 100%. And it's every queer person's favorite Disney movie.
Literally, you're
Because
so right.
you're like sitting there like, she gets to be a man? And come on, Shane was not feeling very straight when
Yeah,
he started.
absolutely not. No.
I think there's a meme or something out there of him like seeing her be a woman, and it's just like, oh, thank God.
No, that moment where Ping like knocks Shang out, and he like looks up and does that. I was like, you can see him fall in love
Yeah.
at that moment. He's like, oh, maybe I am gay.
That's the moment right
Yeah.
there, yeah. It also reminds me of all the Korean dramas where they have to like cross-dress at one point, and then the guy questions his sexuality because he's like so incredibly attracted to this person. And I love those dramas so much. Like also Osha Club, around High School Host Club.
Yep.
Yep.
That was
Mhm.
another one.
Yep.
Although I don't think what was his name? Tamaki?
Yeah. The blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if they ended up together, but there was like the thing between them. I don't think he ever questions his sexuality.
He's just like, it is what it is.
So
I
like,
know who they end up with in the manga.
oh yeah. But I do like Haruhi. I think is canon non-binary.
Oh,
like,
cool. Oh,
yeah.
I never knew that.
It's kind of like a translation thing. Because
course.
Haruhi mentions like their pronouns, like because there are different ways you can refer to yourself as I, and they're
Right.
like, yeah, I don't really care if you use like the regular I or the masculine I when I
Boku?
speak. Boku ore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, oh, wow. I wish I understood that back in the day.
I know. I think especially in high school in our day, that would have been
Yeah.
really good. So
I mean,
There was a lot less representation back then.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. For sure. Oh, for reference, Haylee is closer to Marissa's age, right?
yes. Yeah, I think
He's a little older, but
yeah, I'm only by like a year or two, like
Yeah.
not very much.
Yeah.
that is actually
Different
a good
generations.
reference because the amount of times that we'll be talking, and Marissa's like, "Yeah, I was like 10."
Right.
So our in high school host club was in high school for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like, yeah, I think it was like 8th or 9th grade.
No. You're right. It was middle school. I remember because we were cosplaying our in high school host club.
Well, I
in
just
middle
know
school.
because when I was getting into anime, that was when Jenna and Jake were in high school,
Mhm.
and so I think that was one of the, not the like last ones I watched, but like the last ones before they started kind of
Yeah.
doing their own thing and falling off. So, yeah. Well, I mean, like all my friends came over and were just like, "Let me adopt your little sister." Yeah,
Literally.
a couple of your friends. Some of
Yeah.
your friends did not care.
That's fair.
They're like, "Oh, you have a little sister? Okay,
Cool.
yeah."
I remember like living in Korea, they have a very strict hierarchy where you're only friends with people of your age.
Oh.
Otherwise, then you're like a sunbae, which is like a older.
Yeah,
thing.
it's like when the upperclassmen like adopt
Yeah.
younger. Yeah.
But like you can never, I could never refer to Marissa or Haylee as my friend
Oh,
ever. It would
Oh,
just
see
be
how it
so
is.
only Jenna would be my friend. So like even Angela. So
Oh.
Angela's a year older than us. She's
She wouldn't have been
December,
able to.
and Ryan wouldn't be. They're not
Oh,
our
boy.
friends,
no
which
friends.
is intense.
That is intense.
So but
My
yeah,
husband wouldn't be allowed to
That's
be my
my-
friend.
right.
That's my literal anxiety come to life. I
You have a strict boundary of where friends are.
so like I repeated the first grade, and ever since then I've had like a weird like complex about my age and being like, and like I don't know, it's just the thing I pay attention to is how much
Yeah.
younger or older I am than all my other friends, and I feel like being in South Korea would put that anxiety into overdrive.
Yeah.
Well, that's my problem too. Was that I had friends my age, but I definitely, especially as I started getting older, was just closer to Jenna and
Yeah.
than Jenna's
Yeah.
friends. Obviously, as you can tell by our D&D. So yeah, my whole thing was like, you know, I wanted to hang out with the older people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Not people my age. But I don't know why I just flashed like you and Jake. And I was like, yeah, Jake had that too because he was always friends with my friends.
Yeah. Anyway, I am glad that we live in a society where our friendship is not restricted by our age. Especially considered best friend Hannah is 10 years younger than me.
Oh wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that would make it hard.
She's a 99 baby.
I just,
boy.
I imagine like how rude people would take it here if I was like, wait a minute, how old are you? Right? Sorry, we can't be friends. When were you
That's
born?
literally how it is. Where
That's
it's like,
so
oh,
crazy.
because I always ask, and the thing that I always get is I always ask people what year they were born. I don't ever ask their age.
Mhm.
And so then I do the math in my brain of how close they are to me. And obviously, if they're not born in 1989,
Yeah,
then I'm just like, oh, okay. But I don't care about that.
yeah,
I just have to know if I have to talk respectfully to them or not.
yeah.
At least
fair.
in America, it doesn't matter because you could talk
Yeah.
however you want to somebody.
No respect here.
No respect. But unless in interviews, then you do. I was like, we do have formal language because we use it in interviews,
Yeah,
but not like they have a whole other straight up different words and languages and sentences. And in I don't know about China, but I know for sure in Japan and Korea.
yeah. But
Anyway, so let's talk some gay books.
Yeah, I love gay books. They're my favorite.
So have you read anything recently that has like really stood out to you?
Recently, so unfortunately reading has been really tough on me this
Yeah.
year. So recently it's been hard, but I do have some upcoming books that I'm very excited about.
Ooh.
Or one that has technically already been released, but not sponsored. Part of my Aardvark book club box. this month is The Starving Saints by Caitlin Starling. Caitlin Starling is an author that I really like. One of her book, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of it, but one of her books, The Luminous Dead by Caitlin Starling. That was the book that got me back into reading like 2 years ago. And I just really love her as an author. And The Starving Saints is medieval lesbians. And then also there's something, there's an element of mind control in there. And there may or may not be cannibalism.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lesbians and cannibals.
I think this was the author that we want, that was like, hey, podcast people, let me know if you're, I'm pretty sure that was her.
Megan.
Oh my gosh.
Megan.
Hang on. And she was giving
He was
out
like, I am now
arts.
joining your podcast fully all the time.
I'm looking
I
at my
am
messages.
the Brawless Book.
It was straight up Caitlin Starling. And I said, oh my God. I said, we volunteer as tribute. What podcast? And I sent it. And I was like, I sent it from my personal account. And she's like, oh, literally.
I'm losing my mind right now. Oh my God, can you tell her that I'm such a big fan? That The Luminous Dead is one of my favorite books of all time. And
I knew we should have
Look, let's
done
follow
this.
up.
It's too late now, but
No,
for those listening, because we do not have video, the entire time Megan was saying that, I had this look of just like unabashed.
She was literally bouncing out of her seat for a second.
Yeah, I floated out of my body.
the second you mentioned the book, I was like, that sounds like an oddly specific one that I specifically suggested for us to read before to have her on our podcast. But we'll have to follow up and still with her.
But
Make it part of one of our books we have to read.
Our required reading, yeah.
We'll do a required reading of it and then do
We
an
haven't
episode.
done any required reading this year yet. We're halfway through the year and we haven't done any required reading.
It's true, but we
sort of the secret society.
Yeah.
Of that was
that
just a
wasn't required,
happenstance.
but it was just happenstance.
I'm-
I'm taking that as my book, so I don't have to
Think about it
commit.
anymore.
All right, so
I have a required reading for you guys.
Oh, I love
ooh.
Later this year, I'm trying to look up the date that it comes out. August 12th. Chuck
Okay.
Tingle is
Yes.
releasing a new.
Yes.
It's not pounded in my butt by the concept of free libraries or anything like that. But Chuck Tingle is coming out with a new book in August called Lucky Day, and it's a book about like something crazy happens and then luck becomes like a physical force. And I'll be honest, off the top of my head, I don't know a lot of the synopsis, so I can't convince you guys other than like after reading Bury Your Gaze, I am a Chuck Tingle follower, and he is just such an incredibly talented and poignant writer that I don't need to read the synopsis. I just see that it's coming out and he wrote it, and I'll read it, and I'm going to make you all read it.
It's so great because you don't know what happened our last chapter. Literally had like a whole conversation because Megan brought up
about Chuck Tingle.
yeah, Megan brought up Chuck Tingle and Jenna, me too, but Jenna was the one that voiced it. Was like, I don't know who that is, and so Megan just went into it, and Jenna
And I said-
started looking up the titles, and I was like, oh my gosh,
No, well, that's how you know he's like a really good author, right? Is because he's able to
Get away
use satirical
Yeah.
writing in such an effective way. But also when he does serious writing, like he gets nominated for a Hugo. And I haven't read Camp Damascus yet, but I really, really want to read it. But I'm sure I talked about Bury Your Gaze last year because it blew my mind how beautifully written it was.
Yeah.
So Chuck Tingle, y'all, he's a
Yeah.
serious writer.
Well, it's the second time he's been brought up.
I
now, so
guess.
we gotta-
Yeah.
He's going on my list. I so it's funny because I had also decided that I did not do a good job about actually doing queer reads this year, which I had wanted to do since last year. I was like, okay, I have to be better about doing queer reads. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do at least one book from 4 letters of the Alphabet Mafia, like 4 different letters, and hit those different ones, you know. And I did realize that I have to make a little, what is it that they use, the
corrections corner or whatever
Yeah.
about this because I had said that I was reading Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I said, so I have a lesbian read and it's bisexual. It's a bisexual read. So I had to put that in there right now because I was like, look, that was a big part of the book. So
Yeah.
I was reading that. But yeah, so now I need a lot of books that fit not just lesbian, gay, and bisexual, but some of the other letters.
Yeah.
So
The whole alphabet.
I've actually
The whole
been
alphabet.
looking into a lot of more like trans and gender nonconforming books, and I'm building a list of like I'm downloading samples on my Kindle so that I could read it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think, oh God, when the person that did Hell Followed With Us, I want to say AJ. Hold on, I follow them on Instagram. I have to look up so many things.
Don't worry, that's Jenna. She's our researcher over there.
yeah, I always have my phone because I'm like, they'll say something and I'm like, let me find out the actual thing for you.
Yeah.
Andrew Joseph White, the author of Hell Followed With Us, and also that's the one everybody knows. But he is a trans author, and he has a book for adults. Normally, he writes YA horror, but he has a book for adults coming out this year as well. And I'm gonna find it for you guys. But I was saying AJ because that's his screen name on Instagram is AJ White author. Oh no, my phone's not loading. But he has a new book coming out this year, and he did like a little mood board of book or like other media that inspired this one, and Silent Hill 3 was included. Silent Hill 3, and there was another thing that was in there that I really liked, but I was like, Silent Hill 3 mentioned, we're so back, baby. I won't, this is a book podcast, so I won't go into how intensely I feel about Silent Hill 3 specifically.
It's all good. We are a storytelling podcast,
Yes.
and that includes all forms of storytelling.
Because we did a whole episode on the series of Percy Jackson.
Oh,
Not the
yeah.
books, the show.
Oh, the show? Okay.
And then
okay.
we're planning to do one for Wicked.
And
Oh,
Yellow
okay.
Jackets.
And Yellow Jackets, absolutely. Yellow Jackets. You guys should do a lesbianism versus cannibalism episode.
So I have to tell you, and this will get cut out, but I have to tell you my idea for our title for the Yellow Jackets one.
Oh, okay.
Because it's gonna be There's No Book Club. Because we will not be talking about books.
Perfect.
Talking about Yellow Jackets.
I'm sure we'll still sneak some
Yeah.
books in there.
Oh, I'm sure.
I was like,
But
look,
yeah.
Marissa, tell us about your cannibalism book.
Yeah.
For
I read
5
a lot of
minutes.
cannibalism
books. We've realized that that's Marissa's weird niche is that she has cannibalism. I have serial killers. She has cannibalism.
I have
What
cults.
is it? And
Cults.
Megan has cults.
I genuinely think that there is something like lesbians and cannibalism do like truly go hand in hand. I like thematically.
Look, a lot of dirty thoughts came into
I
my
was 100% going to say something about eating out.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly where my brain went.
Okay, wow, perverts. I was talking about the allegory for
Once again, something we could talk about in the Yellow Jackets.
Absolutely. Maybe I'll come back for the Yellow Jackets.
should.
episode. I have a lot
100%.
of feelings about
I-
Yellow Jackets.
I need you to come back
Yeah.
for the Yellow
Okay.
Jackets.
I'll come
Because
back.
we have good conversations.
Yeah, we
outside
do.
of that.
And I also have some incredible hot takes to spark some debate.
I love it. You have to be over here and defending Shauna.
yeah, no, I'm gonna come in being like, I'm gonna cause problems on purpose.
You just like kick the door open
Yeah.
and you're like, listen.
You guys.
Wearing
the antlers.
Yours is better. I was going to say wearing a shirt with Shauna's face on it.
Look, it could be both.
No, I'm gonna wear the antlers with like a little Shauna banner over the top.
Shauna was right.
Yeah, I know. A Shauna apologist.
Oh my gosh.
So for those that don't know, Go watch Yellow Jackets.
Before
Tell
us what you think about Sean.
Yeah, give us. It's got three seasons. We need a couple more episodes before we hop into that one. So you got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Jenna watched it all in like a week.
I did. And I have a 2-year-old, which I can't watch it with.
That's what I was literally wondering. You're just like watching it in the middle of the day, and I was like, how?
On her phone. I got one day, which was the best day ever. Jelani took Elias, and look, we were probably the worst parents ever. I fully admit that this was probably not our prime parenting example. But Jelani took Elias into his office. He has this giant stuffed Mickey Mouse, like reclining chair. It's not a reclining, but it's like a big cozy chair. And he put the Mickey Mouse chair on his desk, and he has 2 screens, and he played his video game. He let Elias watch his show, and I had the front room, and I got to watch Yellow Jackets for like an entire day, which I never get to binge adult shows. Like I've watched every episode of Bluey 5,000 times. And as we've talked about, I've seen Mulan more times than I can count. I think I've watched Mulan more times this week than I had watched in my entire life beforehand, and that's saying something. But so I got to like binge so much Yellow Jackets. But then by then I was so hooked on it that anytime I had a moment where Elias was just sleeping or doing anything, it's like I had it on my phone and I had my headphone in and I'm just like, I'm cooking and like,
Oh, that's crazy.
and then Elias, my sweet, cute little 2-year-old, is looking at it and goes, I can't watch that. It's scary. And I'm like, yes, it's scary. Let's not watch it.
I have a feeling that Elias is gonna like have some like half-formed memories of like, because I have half-formed memories of similar situations where my mom was watching like Practical Magic.
Oh yeah.
While I was asleep, and I woke up at the part where the ghost of Jimmy burned his hand with the badge.
Yeah.
That's when I woke up as a child. And that's like waking up and seeing that like from the corner of my eye is like a forever memory.
Oh yeah.
And now here you are, Practical Magic.
Yeah.
Like
my yearly reread of Practical Magic. Yeah.
Yeah. And your obsession with horror lesbian novels, I wonder.
One
I wonder
time-
where it started.
One time a therapist did ask me like, do we want to talk about like the reason why you love dark themes and like horror and like very gothic themes so much? And I was like, no, we don't have to talk about that. Let's talk about
You don't want to open that one. Look, I'm perfectly happy with my dark themes.
Yeah, I'm like, we could talk about something else. I don't want to change my interests.
That's not what I'm paying you
Yeah.
for.
my half-formed memory is going to see Targan at the drive-in movie theater with my parents. And so there's, obviously you can like look over and see the other screens over
yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm.
And so watching Tarzan and looking over and the Mummy was playing on it over there. And it was the part where the hill like starts forming and the scarabs start coming out. I like bugs. I was just like, what is that? And I was like, that's so cool. I didn't see the part where the scarabs promptly ate a guy to bones in like 3 seconds, which does not happen because scarabs are literally dung beetles.
Yeah. Well, so like
Mummies also don't come to life.
What? They don't?
as a kid, that was the only thing about the Mummy that like really scared me. Were the scarabs that went under your body.
Yeah,
I was like I realized like as a kid, like body horror was what scared me because there were a lot of other things that like I was watching scary movies when I absolutely should not have.
Same.
But it was always things like the scarabs and like bugs inside your body. Ooh.
When the one scarab like comes out from his face and backs into his mouth and he starts eating it. Yeah, that one's pretty gross. For me, it was the part where he's kissing Evie and his mouth starts rotting away.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only part of that movie that I was just like, okay,
All right,
I don't like that. I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like anything. Body horror freaked me out. I didn't like it. Anything like pulling the toenails off or like things like that freaked me out. Couldn't do
What movie were you watching that happened?
it. Serial killer movies. Serial killer.
Yeah, probably.
Criminal Minds. Actually.
Oh, Criminal Minds.
I was like, if you don't remember, in the early 2000s, there was an entire genre of horror movie that was incredibly popular that was
true.
only about ripping toenails.
Saw, Hostel.
Yeah, I couldn't ever do any of the Hostel or the Saws. Like even to this day, I think they put on Spiral, and I didn't know.
Spiral
No one
wasn't
told me.
particularly good anyway.
No, but no one told me it was going to be a Saw movie.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, I didn't know. And they're
It's
like,
called
let's go to the movies. And I was like, okay. And they're like, we're going to go to the drive-ins. It's like, great. And I was like, what are we going to watch? And they're like, Spiral. I was like, I have no idea what that is. And they're like, oh, it's like a detective movie.
No, they
Great.
lied to you on purpose because the whole title of that movie is Spiral from the Book of Saw.
They lied to me. They were mean.
Who did this? Who do we need to hunt down?
My husband.
I 100% was about to say
Jelani.
Jelani.
Yeah, I think it was my husband. I don't even remember, but I was like, I remember going with
Jelani
him,
and
and
his
I want to say it was his family, maybe Vinny and stuff like that. But I was just like, you do realize I will not sleep for like days after like Saw movies because I can't do the body horror. I hate body horror, and I hated the would you rather's kind of thing. That messed with my mind. But I weirdly like. The one movie that I remember messed me up for the longest time was Shutter Island.
Oh, really?
And the reason why was because in my mind, I was like, what if he wasn't actually crazy? What if they drove him to insanity and then he had no way out even though he wasn't crazy because they told everyone that he was crazy? And I like...
Oh, Jenna. Okay, so no cerebral movies for Jenna.
And that twisted my mind. I remember watching that and just laying in bed for hours just thinking about it. Like,
So don't think
unable to
about
sleep.
how that literally happened to so many women.
Right.
Oh.
Okay, look, I have so many issues with that stuff. That's why. Because they just convince you that you're crazy. And
The
it's like,
yellow wallpaper.
yeah. What does that
We
say
don't-
about my psyche?
We don't have to get too much into it because it's pretty intense subject matter, but there is a situation. I'm reading Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix right now because as a birthday gift, Megan read that book before me and annotated it for me. And so I started reading that now. And it's so fun. It's like I'm reading with Megan even though I'm not reading with Megan, it's like reading with a friend. And anyway, but yeah, there's the story is about girls, unwed pregnant girls, and it's important to call them girls because they are all underage. They are
And it's in 1975, 77?
It's the 70s. It's during Vietnam, when the protests are happening, and stuff like that. But it's back when, if you get pregnant and you're not married yet, you get sent off somewhere private to have your baby. And yeah, there's a situation where one of the girls there, she's really young. No one will believe who the father is, and it's really heartbreaking to read.
Sad.
Yeah.
That's really sad. Yeah, I definitely, I think those books, like I've talked about, for me, one of my the book that stays with me the most, it's like one of my most recommended is A Thousand Splendid Suns. And it's another one of those books where it's like, it's really heavy and hard to read sometimes. But I think those are kind of the important books sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, those type of books, those ones will kind of like mess you up because you sit there and like spiral on them for a long time. But honestly, Megan ruined us all now with this annotation because every once in a while when I'm reading books that I'm like, I wish I was reading this with Megan or I was annotating this for Megan so that I could talk to her about this book while I'm doing this. I want to make a note right here in this book.
I think I might just do that for funsies for no reason.
Just for yourself, because then,
No.
especially
No to you.
for me, you'll get the books.
Yeah.
I'll take all the books. That's best friend Hannah and I started doing that, and then I was just like, but now what we can do with the Sisterhood of the Traveling Books and now the Fellowship of the Traveling Books is you get so many perspectives.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And like I just read one part that Ryan wrote because I'm reading Jenna's Choice, which was Don't Let the Forest In by I do not know what author.
Don't Let the Forest In. I think go on. Sorry.
Yeah. It is also gay. It's fitting
I
for.
think I might have started reading it or I have it.
Okay.
It was really popular like a year ago
Yeah,
when it came
last year,
out.
yeah.
And Jenna was like, I can't even find it anywhere to buy it.
Yeah, it was to the point where I wanted to specifically buy it from a independent bookstore and not like Barnes and Noble, but they didn't have it anywhere. And then I looked at Barnes and Noble and they didn't have, like the closest Barnes and Noble that had it was like Brentwood. And I was like,
boy.
all right, I guess it's going to be an Amazon purchase then.
No, okay, no. I both have Don't Let the Forest In, and I got an ARC for it on NetGalley, but I never
cool.
ended up reading it because I was confused as to what was going on with the there was one book publishing company that we are still, I believe, protesting and boycotting, and I'm a bad leftist for not remembering which one it is.
Oh, I was gonna say which one is
Yeah,
it? I thought you were being vague on purpose. But yeah.
I'll look it up and say later to see if that boycott is still happening. But the publisher for Don't Let the Forest In was like a subsidiary. And I was like, sorry, I can't read this because of this, and this. And then I posted it to the group that was like in charge of the boycott, and they're like, oh, we're not boycotting them specifically. We're only boycotting this one company. You didn't have to do that. And I was like,
oh
no. So I ended up buying the book as a way to myself as a way of saying, oops, sorry.
I love it.
The author is C.G. Drew.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, everybody. I'm confused, but I got the spirit right.
Look, I'm so into this boycott that I am boycotting everything else. I am boycotting this boycott. We're boycotting.
just a circle.
I did not chip my tooth, but I did give it a good knocking. We'll see it. We'll see if we can hear it on the audio.
Yeah, the amount of times that it's going like boing.
Yeah,
hitting something. Yeah, every time.
You were saying something about Don't Let the Forest In.
Yeah. You were
Ryan's
talking about. It's so funny. Now Ryan is our first time doing it, and I feel I'm lucky that I get Ryan's first notes on this. And there was this one part where we find out that the main characters are from Australia, and he writes "Arnar," and I laughed so hard at that part, and I was just like, okay. Good work, Ryan.
Well done.
But anyway, yeah. So I just thought that was it. It's just
love it.
Funny.
It is fun. I definitely. It's funny because I'll be reading other books. I just read the D&D little rom-com books, and
like Legends and Lattes and
no, it's like they're young adult, very like high school.
Dungeons and Drama was that
it was
one?
like Dungeons and Drama and Dragons and Dating.
Oh,
and look, they're. I literally like wrote a Goodreads review and I was like, was this a young adult romance? Yes. Am I 20 years outside of high school? Yes. Did I still devour them and love them? Yes. Like they hit, especially the Dungeons and Drama, I thought hit so many points for me because she's like a drama kid. So she made so many like references to musicals and stuff. And then she ends up dating this guy and they get her into D&D and stuff. Because she's kind of getting punished by working at her dad's store or whatever. And she's like, oh, games. All I want to do is like work on my musical or whatever. And then she's like, oh my gosh, I get to essentially be a theater kid while playing with you guys. Yeah. And so of course she becomes a bard. It's like the best thing ever. But I was like laughing at all of this. And I was just like, there are so many times that I was like, I want to write a note to Megan right here. But I'm reading it on my phone for one. And
that's why we need our app.
Yeah, I was like, this is why we need our app.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I need to write annotations to Megan for like every book I know she's gonna read.
Did I ever tell you about the first time I played D&D with Steven, my other D&D group?
Mm-mm.
I played Usul, who was this halfling archer. But I was like really high energy and very energetic, which is very much not me. And it was the first time I met like the other people that were playing in that group, but Steven is my friend. He was part of it, so he asked if I could come join them for a little bit. And everybody thought that's who I was because that's how I was acting. And after the first session, Steven's like, I forgot you did theater stuff.
I forgot you could fake it.
I was just like talking really fast, and I was a really high energy little kid that was super excited to go on this adventure. And he's like, that is not you. Yeah. Even though I met Steven in theater.
How much energy did it take? Did you need like 2 days to recover after that?
Probably.
That's me with all of our games. I'm like, I cannot speak to anybody for 48 business hours.
This is what I like, because we're going to play D&D later today, is we're going to have this nice break in between.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to need that.
A part of me was just going to be like, well, I don't want to like drive all the way home. So maybe if I like make my food
Yeah.
beforehand. I could bring it here and then have Haylee just take it home, and then we could have a writing session. You guys want to have? And then I thought, oh no, they're all introverts.
Because like I could spend 48 hours with you guys.
I
Talking.
really could.
Megan, if you want to come over to my house and hang out, you feel free to.
I have to go home and get the food.
Oh no!
She didn't
Okay,
have to.
I did not
sorry.
bring it.
Sorry.
I mean, I can always come a little early. I know
Yeah.
you have your interview, but I'll just
Yeah.
be like in the background, like rooting for you, going, "Go ahead and go."
my boss.
She's actually tuning in live right now.
You're on the call with her on your phone.
Pocket dial.
Hearing all of- that is like my biggest fear in life.
Oh yeah.
Is like I will like accidentally pocket dial someone and then be talking bad about them for some reason.
my gosh.
Not that I would ever talk bad about anybody, but half the time it's always I'm with my husband and I'm talking Korean, so I'm like, it's fine.
won't
Nobody
know
will ever
anyway.
know.
That's my thing at work because we have radios and like I have it clipped on my belt and so many people do it, so that's why I'm scared that I'm gonna do it. Of like they sit down and they just cue up their radio.
The amount of times I did
If you're
that as a
peeing.
supervisor.
Well, I don't put my radio on when I'm peeing. I set it.
You leave
to
it
the
out there
side.
because
Yeah.
otherwise
okay.
it'll fall in the toilet.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
I used to do that back when I was working at like I think Walmart we had walkies there. I would do that on purpose just to give somebody to listen to throughout the day.
Dude, it's got so many people in trouble because we had this one guy who he cursed like every third word.
No.
And we'd always talk to him about it, like, you can't do that. We're all about guest service here. You can't, like, be cursing on the floor. And he would cue up his radio and you'd start hearing him just going on. Stop it.
Oh jeez. Oh jeez.
And I'd call him and be like, hey, can you come to the office real quick?
Surround sound cursing. You just hear it all over the casino. Just boop, 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 boop.
Oh, no. That's the hard part is if somebody has an all-call radio.
Oh
Because we
no.
all have different channels for
Yeah.
different departments. But
Yep.
there's some radios have the all-call where you could go to everybody.
Oh my gosh.
No.
I would do that with the people would hate me because I'd be like, all right, guys, your fun fact for the day is, and they'd be like, shut up, Megan.
When we worked in valet, we used to have a security officer that would hop onto the valet channel really quick. They just go, top of the morning to you, valet.
That's pretty darn cute. I think it is. I love,
love
that.
that.
I wonder
would-
if he still does it because he's still there. I should ask him.
yeah, you should just hop on over valet for a little bit when he's on his like
Yeah.
when he starts his shift. Anyway, back to books.
Yeah.
Look at our entire podcast is pretty much just sidebars on top of sidebars.
It's Prime Month. We gotta talk about books. We gotta talk about the gay ones.
Yeah, we haven't been talking gay enough, guys.
Yeah. Hey
All
guys.
right, let's go back to the gays.
Happy Pride Month.
Hey. So yes, I just finished the Always Fully Booked book club book, which was The God of the Woods, which I told you guys about last week, where the what was it? The
Where it
was
has
2
nothing
weeks
to do
ago?
with gods, but except for
It
Pan.
mentions Pan.
Yeah.
That one I really enjoyed. I wish because there was like subtle moments where she's like, one of the characters is like, I could literally leave my fiance who does not treat me and beats me for this woman right here. And I'm just like, oh my God, yes, leave her, do
Yeah,
him.
do it. Do it.
Leave him for the woman. And then there's this little girl who's 13 at the camp. And then she's like, I think I'm totally in love with this other girl. And I'm just like, yes, you are 13 and you totally know
Yes.
that you are 100% in love with her.
Can I say that is a trope that I don't like of, like, men are being abusive to me, so I'm gonna be a lesbian.
Yeah, it's giving like it's a common trope, and like if it were sometimes that would be okay. Like that could be
Yeah.
interesting, but like the fact that it's so prevalent, I'm like,
I think the hard part about it is it kind of gives that impression of like I'm just a lesbian because men were mean
Right.
to me,
exactly.
rather than like I actually genuinely love women.
Yeah, I feel that same way about like with sometimes like asexual characters in
Yes.
books too, where like the immediate assumption is like, oh, there's some damage there, and that's
Yeah.
why you're not into doing it all the time like everybody else.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the whole thing. Like even our dad,
Yeah.
before Jake came out, he genuinely thought that homosexuality was because there was some abuse somewhere.
Oh, geez.
But we grew up very, very, very religious.
Yeah, we did.
So that's what they pretty much taught you.
Jenna's dying
Excuse
over
me.
there.
Ooh,
It's
that's
all
what-
that milk in your tea, Jenna.
So the ironic and funny part of this is that I just ate the last little bit of my muffin because these are my favorite muffins in the world. And so I ate the last little bit of my muffin, and I was like, "There's a little bit of milk left. I want that with my muffin," and it would not come out of my cup. And I'm like, "Crap!" The muffin's like kind of like stuck in the back of my throat.
Oh,
so I
no.
drank the water to like wash the muffin. It's okay. I like drank the water to wash the muffin down. I was like, "Well, at least there won't be any milk in the back of my throat." And then I started like having the weird little throat thing. Anyway, yeah. So we just grew up very, very religious, and that's pretty much what they taught as Jehovah's Witnesses. That like, oh, it's a trauma response. Like that's why people are gay. And then my brother came out, and then Marissa didn't come out.
I didn't come out. I just said, I didn't say anything. I just was.
She just
Yeah.
was. She only came out to me, and I was just like, yeah, I
And
know.
she didn't
cool.
care.
That was me
That's
too.
why I stopped coming out to people because Jenna didn't care. I had this whole thing of like, hey, I'm going to sit down and talk to you. And she's like, okay. I was like,
Yep.
cool. Bye.
I also didn't really come out to my family either, just because like my family, my Uncle Luke, he did all the coming out drama for me. And so I was like, I don't need to do that, except for my grandparents. My grandparents are deeply homophobic, but they don't need to know.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
care to tell them.
My
they don't
grandparents
know.
know, but they don't acknowledge it. And
Yeah.
I just don't acknowledge it either.
Yeah, no, okay. To clarify, Grandma knows. Grandma accidentally found out when I was dating a non-binary person, and asked my mom, and my mom told her, and I forgive my mom for that. But I did get a Bible with all of the. Yeah, I did get a Bible with all of the. I say punishments for lust, but like the dangers of succumbing to lust were all highlighted for me. And I told my mom about that when it happened, and she's like, I'm so sorry. And then I guess she forgot about it because it came up in conversation like recently, like within the last month, and she was like, she said that to you? And I was like, why weren't you angry the first time?
Look, the amount of times I feel like I have a conversation with people and think they understand what we're talking about, and then later find out they had no idea what we were talking about is insane.
I give my grandparents, my grandmas,
I was gonna say
so
we have
they're
no
the only-
we have
yeah.
no grandpas anymore.
grandpas are all dead. But I give my grandmas a lot of credit because I know they know, but they don't treat me differently.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Even though they are both heavily religious and I know they do not approve of it, they don't treat me any differently.
Yeah.
They like we've returned from Pride before and we stopped by their house to say hi.
That was
Wearing
an
our
interesting
rainbow
story.
with our friend.
She just first time ever meeting our family, and she's like in this crop top with like rainbow painted all over her. And then we take a big family picture, and she's in it with us.
It's great.
Like,
Oh no.
yeah.
But yeah, no, they don't. Like, it's kind of a don't ask, don't tell situation,
Yeah.
which I kind of
Yeah.
am okay with them.
Yeah.
Because I would rather have the, like, ignore it than the strong disapproval.
I would say Grandma Sandy ignores it. Nana genuinely wants you to find someone that makes you happy, and she doesn't care that it's a woman. She just also won't specifically say. She'll just is Marissa saying anyone?
Yeah. Does Marissa have
she
a
doesn't
roommate?
talk to me.
Does Marissa have a roommate yet?
I still love Aunt Becky. When I told her when I was in high school, because I was taking 3 AP classes at that time, and I told her, I was like, I'm taking 3 AP classes. She's like, unacceptable. I can get over the gay thing, but 3 AP classes.
No, so
Coming from our teacher.
Well, yeah, she's a
recently,
teacher. She knows.
My grandma and grandpa were pretty convinced the rapture was going to happen back in April, and so they started giving people like rapture money, as like a subtle way of saying we don't think you're going.
So here's some money to survive hell.
Yeah. So something that also happened is, so at that time, like I really needed money, so I was like, fine. And my mom texted me and she was like, hey, grandma gave you some money, or grandma gave you a card and I'm pretty sure it has some money in it. And I was like, oh, cool. Can you like open it and then like and take the cash and like Venmo me the money because I really need it like right now and you live very far away from me. And she was like, yeah, sure. I'll read the card out to you. And she like, I hear her open up the envelope and open the card, and she was like, I didn't get Bible verses in mine. And I was like, okay.
Dang.
I see where this is going.
Yeah.
I wanna go back and talk about like the lusts and stuff that like the verses that were, and I'm over here sitting here thinking, I don't think lust is involved in that.
Yeah.
If anything, I feel like lust is a different specific gender.
Yeah, so from what I'm able to gather, because I will never have a serious conversation about this with my grandparents because I simply do not have the emotional wherewithal to do that.
That's why you have allies do it for you.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm pretty sure like my grandparents are the type that are like, I believe it is a choice to be gay, and it is like and being homosexual is an act of hedonism rather than like anything else, I guess. Like, so they're like, no, you're being gay because it feels good. And I was like, well, yeah, but but they're like, but in the way like they view being gay as like being addicted to drugs. I think
there's a big thing too. There are not a whole lot of Bible verses about actual homosexuality. There are a lot more Bible verses about about lust, and giving into your primal desires. Yeah. And to be honest, if you are gay or straight, you're having desire for someone. So that's what they're saying no to. But realistically, like, it's pretty much taught to women too. Like, you're not necessarily supposed to desire sex either.
Okay. Okay. I looked up the Andrew Joseph White thing because I wanted to make sure to say the title because it's something that I'm very excited about, and I found the post. And so Andrew Joseph White, You Weren't Meant to Be Human. Jenna, I don't think you'll like it very much because we were just talking about how much body horror is bad. And that's kind of Andrew Joseph White's thing, because like some can view well, I guess in their writings they do use a lot of body horror because I'm trying to say this as like intelligently and eloquently and sensitively as I possibly can, but you know, like to be trapped in a body that is not the one you know you are supposed to have, that in and of itself is body horror, right? So he chooses to express that in his writing and does a lot of body horror in his books. But the mood board that he posted, that I'm very excited about, that he included was so Silent Hill 3, number one, most excited. I love Silent Hill 3. It's my favorite game of all time, actually.
Was this the one you posted on your Insta stories?
I might have, yeah, the one where I was like, Silent Hill 3, we're so back, baby.
But it was like there was like feet or something. There was something else involved. I don't know.
Mouthwashing.
Yeah,
mouthwashing. That's a video game that came out in the last like year or so. It's a horror video game. It's actually very, very good, but it's also very emotionally taxing. But I recommend it to anybody who likes horror games that are kind of poignant and aren't afraid of body horror, because they're like it's a body horror game. And then also Alien,
love Alien,
and Rosemary's Baby, and Midsommar.
Oh, Midsommar, yeah.
Midsommar. So, based on these, and not reading the synopsis for the book, so I'm assuming this might be like about a trans man that becomes pregnant. Oh gosh. And the experience of what that would be like.
I just have to say, I looked it up because you're like, okay, right before you said, Jenna, this might not be for you. I was just like, okay, and I like threw it on my Goodreads because I was going to put it on them, maybe read eventually, but and Andrew had commented on it and said, content warnings. The first content warning is infanticide involving cannibalism. I was like, look, immediately not for me.
Oof.
So, and then it does say reproductive abuse, pregnancy is violence, stuff like that. But I was just like, literally the very first content warning, like, yeah, this one's not for
Yeah.
off my list.
Yeah, I like even his YA books that I've read, they're pretty intense.
Yeah.
Like they are he's written quite a bit about like because there are a lot of people that believe like his writing is too intense for a young adult, but he's like, is being trans too intense for a young adult? Like they, you know, I just agree with him, right? The horror that he writes is pretty intense, but
Listen,
I do think
Look,
If
good.
Nevernight can be put in the YA shelf,
dude.
you know, I actually when I read the Sookie Stackhouse novels back in high school, it was because I found them at our high school library.
hang on, question though. Are those as adult as the show is? Because I remember the first
Yes.
episode watching it with my parents
Oh no.
and it being like, oh, and then they're straight up. I mean, it was HBO or
Yeah,
Stars
yeah.
or whatever, right? So yeah, and I remember just being like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
and
they're
never
Before we realized what HBO was going to do
Yes.
to us.
It was they're romance novels. Like Sookie Stackhouse be boning all the time. Like
Dang. And they're in a high school life. I mean,
yeah, I don't know why I was there either.
well, some kids need to know.
Yeah.
Look, you've got to understand that we want, and I'm a mom now, I get it. We want to keep our children as young as possible for as long as possible. But that is the prime years when our libido starts picking up, when we start questioning things, when we start figuring ourselves out.
Not
Like-
mine. Mine didn't hit until like 25.
But that's usually when you hit puberty and things start, you start I mean, I remember very embarrassingly being like 14 and going with my mom shopping and being like, what is with this 69 number? And my mom had to awkwardly explain loud, like, cause I loudly asked at a store what 69ing was.
I always just think of the story of the animal style.
Animal style.
So it was one of Jenna's friends
It
who
was
asked
Jake's.
her
It
mom.
was Aaron.
Asked her mom what animal style was.
Oh no, were they talking about In-N-Out and she didn't think so?
Oh, no. For anyone outside of California, In-N-Out Burger has an animal style, which literally just means put a pickle on it.
No,
It's
no,
literally-
it's
cheese,
and
onions,
onions.
and
Yeah,
Grilled onions.
cheese,
And like a
grilled,
sauce.
cheese, grilled onions, and also their
That's
spread.
the French
Yeah.
fries. That's the French fries. But
yeah,
on a
the animal
hamburger,
style fries
animal style on a burger just means pickles.
And sauce. And the
They
Well,
automatically
they-
come with
they-
all of that.
They
No, they don't.
the hamburgers automatically come with spread, but I think it's also grilled onions,
Yeah,
pickles and grilled
Oh,
onions.
okay, I
because they
just
have
say.
the fresh onions. They do have a little bit of spread, but they smother it when you get animal style.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I-
have In-N-Out for lunch today.
We're all talking about
Okay,
it.
where's the nearest one?
Oh, I was gonna ask for as another person that is into women. Did you ever like inexplicably get so uncomfortable and embarrassed in the bra aisle?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah, you're sitting there like I'm not looking at boobs.
Yeah, it's like
Are you kidding? Marissa used to make me go and buy her bra.
I did not buy bras. I was like probably, I want to say I was probably like 18, 19 before I even got myself sized
Yeah.
for a bra because I didn't want anybody to be touching me. So I'm like,
Yeah.
they're gonna think I'm attracted to. What if I am attracted to them?
You were just living the braless book guild life
Yeah.
Yes.
long before.
Yes, and then I think one of the few times that I went was with the girl I had a crush on, so it was really awkward.
Oh no.
And then she bought me a bra, and I'm like, this is really awkward.
Meanwhile, Megan, me, and Angela and Kathy all
In
were
high
putting
school.
on leotards
Yeah.
together in the dressing room.
And trying on corsets and
trying
stuff
on
in Spencer's or Hot
I
Topic
would
or
have
whatever.
literally died.
Melted to the floor.
Yeah. I was
Oh.
like, no, I'm not looking at anything, I promise.
No, one of my favorites, like, memories from high school was because I did drama, or I did theater, and I would do backstage work and help people out. And I was doing Dracula, and the girl that played Mina, super hot, way older than me, not way older than me, probably about like,
But like high
5-6
school
years.
older than you.
yeah, I'm like 15, 16. She's probably like 20, 23,
Oh, okay.
like somewhere in that area. She hurt her finger while she was on stage. And I was like, do you need help getting out of your costume? I just like, oh yeah, sure, thanks.
And you're like, okay.
15 years old, and I'm helping this very gorgeous woman undress.
It's practice.
Yeah.
For
we should probably mention that this was not a high school play. It was.
No, this was the local community theater.
It wasn't a 20-year-old dropout that's been saying.
Yeah, no, I worked at the community theater.
I was actually so I went to Fanime last weekend. And I was with a bunch of cosplayers, and we were all crammed into one very small hotel room, so everybody's changing at all times. And the entire time I was like, I'm not looking at anything. I'm sorry. My eyes are on the ground at all times. I promise.
Could you guys not go to a bathhouse, like a public bathhouse?
I mean, now that I'm older, I probably could, but
Yeah.
at that time, no.
I mean, if I have proper mental preparedness
Yeah.
time, I can do that.
You're like, okay, next week, Haylee.
Yeah. No, I need
You have a whole week.
Yeah, I need at least 2 business days to prepare myself to do something like that.
I just remember like gym class in high school and
Mm-hmm.
middle school where it's like, I know everybody was all like self-conscious about how they looked
Yeah.
because puberty and you all look weird at that point. But I was all self-conscious about like, what if people think I'm looking at them? So
Yeah.
I'm just going to look at my locker.
I don't think
Yeah.
I remember specifically only looking down and at my locker and not looking at anybody else. And I'm pretty sure everyone was the same way. Nobody was looking at anybody.
No, but I was like, what if somebody sees me looking at
Yeah.
somebody and then they're going to think I'm looking at them and I'm attracted to them?
And also,
Look, I went through that, just so you know. And I mean, I'm not straight. I'm not straight, but I definitely am more on the
Little
straight side of
crooked.
this. Yeah, I'm a little crooked. But I'm definitely more on the straight side of the spectrum. But I definitely went through that too, where it was like gym class, it was this moment of like, oh my God, don't look up because people are going to think I'm checking them out.
Yep.
And that was, I don't think that in our class people necessarily felt that way as much. I feel like it was kind of accepted. Like I remember Brent was gay and everyone just talked, Brent's gay and no big deal.
Bryson and Lucas and all of
Bryson
them.
and
Yeah.
Lucas, and it's like, but I say that, okay, I say that meaning that I shouldn't have felt like people were automatically assuming that I would be gay. I don't know the experience Bryson, Lucas, and Brent went through. So I don't want to say that like everything was fine for them. It just didn't feel like, I didn't feel like there was a lot of animosity towards homosexuality.
I do think it's a pretty common queer experience that you have this because of like the level of homophobia that is present in life, that a lot of queer people have issues feeling that their gaze is inherently predatory, whether or not you are looking at people in a way that you find them attractive or not. It's just the fact that you are looking and that you yourself are queer. There's this worry that this person is going to assume you are looking at them in a predatory way.
Right.
I also think partially for me, because my first crush, I remember her talking about how she's okay with gay people. She's like, I'm totally fine with gay people as long as they're not like coming on to me or anything.
Right.
And so that
Which
was
is a
something
very
that's
common thing people say and so like horrible, because it's like, realistically, for one, that should be a compliment no matter who's hitting on you, whether or not, like, just because I'm hitting on you doesn't mean that anything. And to be honest, that would be like me being like, I don't have a problem with men as long as they're not coming on to me, even though I'm straight, because men are scarier.
And also, if I can be a little mean,
Yes.
if I can be a little mean, 99% of the time they are not.
Right.
And
They're not,
also,
yeah.
but like there is this there is like this assumption that some like homophobic straight people, this idea that they have where they feel that queer people are undesirable, and because the straight person believes that they are higher on like they're higher in social hierarchy.
Yeah.
So they're like, no, this person is below me, therefore they must be attracted to me because I am better than them, right?
Right.
It's I think a lot of people this is something that I work through. Like sometimes I like when I'm on like Tinder or something, like I swipe for someone and my bad brain
Yeah.
makes a thought and is like, yeah, they should swipe right because for whatever reason, some
'Cause I'm hotter
innocuous,
than them in
yeah,
some way.
some innocuous thing that like some innocuous thing that makes me like makes my back brain feel like I'm better than them, and I have to like course correct my brain and be like, that was fucked up for you to think, right? But like I feel like homophobic straight people do feel that way. Like they feel that they are deserving
Right.
of that attraction. But only to say that they don't want it.
Right.
Of
Right.
course.
Right. But honestly, like, to be honest, for one, if a gay person is hitting on you, it takes way more courage for them to come up and consciously hit on you, especially as another woman, because women tend to throw around mixed signals anyway. So, like, I know watching Marissa, going out with Marissa, it's like, you have this moment of like, are they being friendly or are they being flirty? Should I say something or do I not? You know, it's like kind of this thing. So if they actually get the courage to stand up and hit on you, just take it as the compliment it is. And if you're not interested, just be like, wow, I'm super flattered, but sorry.
Yeah.
Like, because that's way nicer than being like, oh my God, they hit on me.
Right.
Like,
To bring up my the movie I talked about last week, which is I talked about, it's called Pride. It was made in 2014. It's about the lesbian and gays support the miners back in the 80s in London.
Ooh, okay.
Amazing movie. Highly recommend it.
Is it streaming on anything?
Do you have Paramount Plus?
I do.
Okay, there you go.
Plug.
She gave me her Paramount just so I could watch Yellow Jackets.
So I recommend that. I love that movie. But there's a point where, like, so they go to the miners and, like, the miners are sitting, like, separately from the gay people, even though they kind of had an understanding of, like, okay, we're cool with each other now.
Really quick, minors with an E or minors with an O?
Miners with an E.
Okay.
It was during a miners' strike.
Okay,
and,
okay.
that is a very, very important distinction.
But they, like, are sitting separately, and one of the, like, coordinators goes up to the miners and goes, like, go over there and talk with one of the gays. Like, intermingle. And he's like, no, I bought him a beer. I don't want to give him any mixed signals or anything like that. She's like, look, everybody over there is out of your league. They are not going to hit on you.
So true, bestie. So true.
She's like, none of them want you. They have better options over there.
Have you seen the people on that side of the aisle? They are kissing each other.
So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
it is getting a little bit late.
Yeah.
It is
We're
after
kinda
10,
close.
and so we need to wrap
Figure
this
out
up.
how we're going to wrap up.
So do you guys have anything else you want to say before we go on to what we're reading?
Any final books to recommend?
Yeah.
Just list them off rapid fire.
I think, okay, my last book that I want to recommend, Justinian Huang is coming out with a new book soon, I believe. He is the author of The Emperor and the Endless Palace. I might be missing a couple words in there, but I met him. Hashtag name drop. But he is a super duper nice guy and an incredibly talented writer, and I think he has a new book coming out soon. And I think people should read that. I just don't know what it is because I didn't look it up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Justinian Wong?
Justinian Huang, Huang.
Okay.
Very cool.
All right. All right, guys. So we always finish this up, Haley, by talking about what we are currently reading. So what book are you currently reading right now?
I am currently reading Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix, but next I will be reading the Saints book by Caitlin Starling.
And then maybe if we can get her on, you should join us for that episode as well.
Yes.
Has a panic attack.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Just freezes, doesn't say anything.
I was
Staring the entire time.
Haley is on, but there's no sound. It's just
Hi.
It's just heavy breathing.
Did you know you're really talented at what you do?
oh my god.
All right, Jenna, what are you reading right now?
I am attempting to read Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. I have
Tempting. Oh, no.
I've heard so many good things about that book. I'm like confused.
Look, here's the deal. I thought, okay, we've talked about how with our
Required reading.
required reading, the hard part for me is that I do a lot of Kindle and audiobooks anyway, so holding the book in my hand is hard. Which we learned why, because my son attacked it with a pen and ripped pages. And I had to replace this book and make Marissa copy over all her notes.
all three of them.
There was a lot of
There
notes.
was actually a lot of notes, and they were mostly positive. So.
So, that being said, I've tried to do the audiobook for this. The good news is I found a solution to my insomnia. The bad news is the audiobook has put me to sleep before page 30 every single time I've tried to listen to it. So I think that this is going to be a non-audiobook. It's going to have to be a physical read.
And you only have a month left.
And I have to finish it this month. But what's hard is that it's going to have to be a physical read. So I'm going to have to be able to sit with it and not have my son sitting there with a pen wanting to tear my pages out.
Yeah.
Right behind me. So I'm going to have to find time to, that's why it's not that it's a bad book. It's just that I can't do the audio version and I can't have my son next to me now because he wants to do what I'm doing.
Now, that being said, Megan, I definitely think you'll like this book.
Awesome.
Even from what I've read, I think it's a very good book, and I think it'll be something that you'll like and relate to a lot.
The narrators have the most soothing and melodramatic voice, and the first probably
Wait, melodramatic? Isn't
not
that
melodramatic? Mellow in general voice, and the first few chapters are setup of the world, and Yumi is like a saint or something essentially, and so she does a lot of like rituals which are
It is very calming.
very calming and boring, and like stacking like they have an entire chapter where they discuss her stacking rocks,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, okay, and then all of a sudden I'd
fantasy.
wake up and I'm halfway through the book and I'm like, oh crap. So I literally
Wait, if it's on Audible, are you on Audible or Libby?
Libby.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say Audible has a thing where it's like after 20 minutes, it will slowly fade its way out, thinking
Yeah.
you're asleep.
No,
Oh,
no,
that's cool.
It's,
Yeah.
for sure. It's Libby, and it's definitely like it has happened probably 7 times now where I put it into my ear, and whether it's nap time, and I have so much caffeine, I think I'm good. I think I'm gonna be fine, and then or my insomnia will be in, and I'm like wide awake, and then all of a sudden I'll put it in my ear, and it's like suddenly I'm waking up at 3 a.m, and I'm halfway through the book, and I'm like, okay, it's not an audible book.
You didn't just absorb it while you were sleeping? It just didn't what is that?
Oh God.
Osmosis?
Osmosis, yeah.
It didn't
Yes.
osmosis its way into your brain?
Into your psyche.
Subconsciously, she knows the entire
Yeah.
the whole book.
Yeah, now you just gotta take the limitless pill and you'll remember it.
But yeah, so that's what I'm reading. Megan, what are you reading?
I'm reading Ladies' Night by Megan Spooner and Amy Kaufman. And that one is a princess and her knight in shining armor who is sapphic. And I'm very excited.
Ooh.
I love it.
And we know
Really?
I love Amy Kaufman.
how
we know we
interesting.
love Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner.
That
Yeah.
keeps coming up on my Kindle of like upcoming books to read and
Ladies'
stuff like
Night.
that. Yeah.
I like it because it's like Ladies' Night, but it's KNIGHT.
Yeah.
I just really like women in armor.
Yes. And then I'm doing the audiobook of
Sorry, Jen and I have the same laugh because I see it on the wavelength.
The Wavelength. Yeah. I'm doing the audiobook of The Temptation of Magic by Megan Scott. We like your name, Megan.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Jenna would like this because it's like the hunter-huntress trope or hunter-hunted trope.
Ooh.
And I think you'd like that because it's yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And her brother's gay, so that also works.
There you go.
There you go.
Still in the pride theme.
What are you reading?
So last night, well, like I said, I've been looking up a lot of like, trans, non-binary, different types of books to try to start. So I started an audiobook. I don't know if I really like it as an audiobook, so I might change that. But it's called Make Sure You Die Screaming by Z. Carlstrom. And the main character is, genderqueer man. They. I'm gonna go with they because I haven't gotten that far, so I don't know what pronouns they like to use in its first person. But they talked about like back when I fully identified as a man. So,
Ooh, okay.
but basically they're on the run for something crazy, possibly murder, and has picked up a self-proclaimed garbage goth along the way. And they're headed back home to find their missing conspiracy theorist father.
Ooh, okay.
So it's one of those very weird ones, and it's written very like casually, I would say. So not like super in depth. It's like they're cursing all the time. They're talking like they would talk to a friend type thing. My only problem with the audiobook so far is the voice for the garbage goth, because it is a man doing a girl's voice, and it is a very stereotypical man doing a girl's voice, and I can't do it.
Fair.
Yeah.
So I'm trying, and I like it. I like the narrator, and I like the writing for the most part, but
I might have to change it to physical.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I definitely suggest you should read She Who Became the Sun.
Yeah.
I know I've recommended it a bunch of times, but I do think that you would enjoy that one a lot.
Here's what I'm finding with audiobooks. I do not like when men do women's voices, and I don't like when women do men's voices.
I like, okay, this might be because of the gay, but in the Sookie Stackhouse audiobooks, I listen to those a lot because my mom listened to the Sookie Stackhouse audiobooks. Whoever the audiobook narrator for those, when she like uses her low Sookie voice, I was like, wow.
Oh. So, some people can pull it off.
Yeah.
Some authors, I'm just like, no, please
No,
don't.
that's fair.
Or some narrators. Authors are fine.
That's
narrators.
whenever like a K-pop idol comes out and they do their lowered register.
Mhm.
I'm always just like, oh, hello. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
We appreciate that.
All right, guys, we got to wrap this up because time is running out. So thank you, Haley, once again
Yes, of
for
course.
joining us.
We'll see
This
you
is
again
fun.
soon.
Yeah, I'll see you guys for the Yellow Jackets episode.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, Megan, let's get on that rewatch going. So we can
I've
do it.
already started.
Yes, perfect. All right. So if there's nothing else, happy Pride, guys.
Happy
And
Pride.
let's end this with a quote like we always do. And this quote is by E.E. Cummings. And it says, "It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are." I
Aww.
love it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Jenna, where can they find us real quick?
Oh, just about everywhere.
No, that's not true. Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, the Braless Book Guild, and then just about any way you want to stream podcasts. We're not on all social media, but we're working on it.
We're on social media.
Kind of.
And you can find me on Instagram at
Yes.
prospander.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I was leading into, but
Oh,
you jumped on it.
Yeah,
it's cool.
it's okay. I haven't been active for a while, and I just wanted to jump in because sometimes I still do stuff.
Yeah. So Haley, where can they find you?
Oh yeah, you can look up prospander on Instagram
There we go. Perfect.
And TikTok.
and TikTok, but more Instagram.
Okay.
That's us too. We're
Yeah.
Instagram and Facebook
Yeah.
and TikTok. A little bit. We're working on it. Yeah. All right, guys. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.
All right, we're officially recording, so
Excellent.
be careful what you say.
Oh fuck.